Good afternoon. It's a little after 1. We are starting early today. Today we're looking at European culture. We're wrapping up European history. We've been flying through history from the Greek era to the Roman era into the Middle Ages, and from there we went on and had a look at the Enlightenment, the period of Enlightenment, and then we were gradually smoothing into this century, or the previous century actually, looking at World War One and World War Two and how these were connected. And today we are going to wrap up World War Two and look at what happened afterwards, because Europe became divided between East and West, and we had the period of the student protests, the Flower Power movement, which shaped, I believe, was a very important factor in understanding Europe today. So yeah, we looked at Europe from a lot of dimensions, from a lot of angles. We saw that the people have been moving. We saw that there were two major civilizations that originated from Europe, Greek and Roman. We have been looking at religion, which played an important factor, the Catholic Church, how that came into existence, the response from the Reformation, the role of the nobles, the kings, the landowners, and how they actually shared power with the Catholic Church, how that actually fed into the Reformation, and the Reformation is still a dividing factor in Europe. Roughly speaking, north and south, where south is Catholic, north is Protestant. And culturally speaking, that also means something. Whereas Protestant people, have a more frugal, a less, how to say, exorbitant lifestyle than Catholics. Generally speaking, we can see that in the way fashion. Where does fashion come from? It's almost exclusively from the Catholic area. The best food in Europe you can find in southern part of Europe, like France, Italy. They have much more attention for food, for the good things in life. Whereas Germany, Netherlands, Denmark, Bethany, it doesn't matter whether it's so gorgeous, as long as it fills you and it gives you a good nutrition, then the food fulfills its main purpose. Of course, these are generalizations, and we can see that religion at the moment in Europe is playing less and less a role. Churches are no longer filled. We see in the Netherlands, for example, that there are so few people that go to church that churches are being repurposed. Sometimes they're being inhabited by, for example, marketplaces and hotels and you name it. So these buildings are becoming obsolete because people no longer go to church. But that doesn't mean that the influence of those churches is completely gone. It's still maybe not so much as a religious institute, but a cultural institute. Certainly, it still plays its role in culture today. Need to add to that, and we are not really going to focus on that too much. But also, Europe, of course, has a large influx of foreign people, foreign workers, mainly from North Africa, former colonies that are currently living in Europe as a first or second or even third generation immigrants into European society, and they also play their role bringing Muslim religion closer to everyday life. So that's And as we have seen in previous episode of UNESCO, the integration issues. How can we integrate those peoples into our society? Speaking for the Netherlands, we had long had a multicultural society, just like England, for example, which basically allowed uh, us to address people with different backgrounds differently. As opposed to France, for example, where France says, okay, égalité, liberté, fraternité, where égalité means equality for all, which meant that everybody could only expect the same treatment. Now, from integration issues, we saw initially that England had more than their fair share of integration issues, and the Netherlands and Belgium, for that matter. But that is changing now because also France seems to be affected. So it doesn't seem to be that there is a much difference in outcome when it comes to integration, whether you choose a multicultural or an equalitarian society. Integration issues are there and they need to be addressed. And with the influx of more immigrants from North Africa, and Middle East, and North Africa, we can expect that to continue for some time. So a heterogeneous society as a whole will make the comparison with Japan more difficult. But that is not to say that perhaps Japan will also will have to accept more immigrants into their society if they want to play a stronger political role. Because if you don't take your responsibility, then maybe they will not be able to let their voice be heard when it comes to representing their own interests in international affairs. But we were talking about World War One. We saw how that basically exploded with a seemingly insignificant event, the murder of a prince in Sarajevo, that culminated into a world war through all kinds of alliances. First of all, of course, Austria, where the prince was from, protested and they wanted to call basically Yugoslavia or Serbia to order. But they were afraid that if Serbia was called to order by Austria, that would mean that Russia would get involved, and indeed Russia mobilized. So instead of declaring war outright, they actually went to Germany and asked for their okay. Germany said, well, that's okay, because they thought that actually by doing that they would basically create more stable situation, but the reverse happened, because when Germany gave their okay, Austria interpreted that as a go-ahead and start a war. Germany wants a war, which was actually, in retrospect, not really the case. It was more that Austria started to become rather reckless. It was more the fact that Russia already put their troops in front of the border of Serbia, ready to invade the moment Austria would start the attack. That triggered it. So when Austria finally declared war on Serbia, the Russian troops were already there. Actually, Austria was not even ready; that they hadn't even mobilized their troops yet. So that was a problem. Then England got involved, and the story escalated from there. World War One gave a lot of casualties. A lot of people died in the trenches, especially in Belgium and northern France. It lasted long. The damages were enormous, and after the war, basically, that was lost by Germany. They were given the blame for the war. They were blamed as being the originator of World War One.
はい、皆さんこんにちは、雲野です。今日はですね、雲野塾の研修のプログラムをご紹介したいと思います。で、こういうふうなホームページありますけれども、ぜひですね、一度中身をご覧になっていただきたいと思います。今日は WW1 さんのスタジオに来て、この収録をしておりますので、中身はこういうふうになってて、今最近ホットなね、グローバルリーダーの定義など書いてあります。で、特に経団連が作成しました、留学すれば英語ができて専門性を持つというだけではですね、グローバルリーダーになれないとここに書いてありますようにですね、仕事ができる、専門性を持つ、英語ができるだけじゃなくてですね、私どもの塾ではリベラルアースということ、それからもう一つは孫子の兵を、さらにはですね、日本の歴史というものを合わせて教えることによって、皆さんが海外の欧米の方々と、もしくは華僑圏の方々と正々堂々と渡り合えるような人物を育成しようというふうなことを考えています。ここに次のスライドが出ておりますけれども、ここに書いてありますのはですね、さらに、私どもの雲野塾の中身につきましてはですね、欧米の資料しか使っておりません。また実際に雲野塾は英語でやっておりますので、英語の講師がこう話しておりますけど、学習はですね、日本の歴史をまだ教えてますので、学習の午後はですね、日本のプログラムをしております。で、以前はこれ有料だったので、今はですね、実際に会場費も取っていただいておりませんで、毎回5000円ということで、朝9時から午後5時までやっておりますので、ぜひ皆さんですね、ご検討の上ご参加いただければと。英語のできない方もですね、学習の午後こういうふうな研修をしておりますので、ぜひご参加いただければというふうに思っておりますので、よろしくお願いします。で、ここにさらにですね、グループ討議とか実務の勘どころを教えると書いてありますけど、実際には私が10年ほどですね、欧米の新聞とか雑誌等をですね、集めてきた、もともと英語のベースでございますので、そうしたものをですね、50セッションのテーマに分けて資料作成しております。そういうことで、世界のオペレーション、もしくはカントリーリスクも含めてですね、しかも世界のトップの方々に対しても、いろいろな分析とか洞察をしてですね、議論しております。そういったことも含めてですね、今後ともよろしくお願いしたいと思います。以上で私の挨拶を終えますが、今回のこのビデオの収録にあたってはですね、V キューブさんのスタジオをお借りしてですね、お時間を頂戴して、このビデオを作成させていただきました。よろしくお願いします。どうもありがとうございました。